What it do, man? It's your boy Josh. We back up in this thing with another one. We woke up this morning. It's another beautiful day. All praise to the Most High, man. Let's get it. Man, I know that it is a commonality for young men, especially in their 20s, to not have a 5-year plan or to not necessarily know where they will be at in 5 years or where they want to be at in 5 years. And this commonality, the correlation that I'm seeing is that these same men are also wanting to be better, have a better life. They're not necessarily thinking that life is good, or they're constantly having this thought that life can be better, and they just don't know how to get it there. And typically is we don't have a 5-year plan. And so if you're a guy that wants to be better, wants to feel more confident, want to actually work towards something, actually living a life of fulfillment, I'm going to be showing you guys how to cultivate a 5-year plan so that you can start accomplishing realistic goals in 2025 that can carry you for the years after that. And so you no longer feel like you have no sense of direction, or that you have no sense of what to work towards or anything like that. This is a commonality. It's something that I experienced. And as a guy who is now in 2025, who started this self-improvement process back in 2020 when I was around the age of 22, going on 23, somewhere around there, I want to help you guys with this, man. Having a vision, having a place, or knowing where you want to go to, and then formulating an equation that can get you there. And so if you're that guy that I'm describing that wants to get better, because if you're on this video, you want to be better. You want to live a better life. And you may not know exactly how to get that life. And so I'm here to show you guys the game plan of how it was broken down to me. And so, man, with that being said, let's get right into it, dog. So the first question is that I dare you to ask is, what do you want? Where do you want to be in 5 years? Or when you look at yourself 5 years down the road, what will make you happy? What will make you proud of you becoming that, or what version of yourself will make you proud of becoming? And it's okay for you to not know that answer. It's totally fine. I was a guy, like I said, at the age of 22, 23, who did not have that figured out. And it doesn't really matter what age you are. You could be 32, you could be 42 and not have, it's okay. We all go at our own we go at our own paces. And we just focus on staying in your lane, and don't compare yourself to other people. You know what I mean? Just focus on taking today right now to get your life better in order. It's better late than never. Because if it never happens, then life would have came and went, and we would just be filled with regret. Well, whatever stage you are in life, man, starting today, we can make life what we want it to be. And so with that being said, ask yourself, where do you want to be in 5 years? Where do you see yourself? What will make you happy? And it's okay if you don't have the answers to that. Literally reflect on it. Literally think about it. I'm going to kind of go back in 2020. And it's so crazy that I'm making this video, because it's literally around the 5-year mark of me self-improving. But around 2020, I didn't know where I wanted to be, but I knew that I am tired of not feeling confident. I'm tired of feeling insecure. I'm tired of looking at other men who have what I wish I had what they had. They're talented. They're gifted in areas. I wanted to be somebody that had that and something going on for myself. You know, I wanted life to have purpose and have meaning for me, and for me to enjoy life as well. You know, around 22 and 23, that's when I had first moved out of my parents' house, and I had moved into a brand new town, no friends, no family. And I really saw how cold the world was. And I really saw that, like, bro, nobody really cares about me. Nobody's looking for me. And I'm basically not seen in this world. And my confidence and my self-esteem began to lower and become at an all-time low. That first year that I moved out of my house, my parents' house, I was no longer at college hanging with friends. I was now into the real world, dealing with normal, everyday people. And I was trying to find out what I had to do to cultivate a life that I could be happy about, that I could be proud of. You know, I was like, man, if I'm not, what do I got to do? Because that was moving out. That was like that hard reset button. It was like that first year of, okay, what am I going to do with my life? What am I going to do? And so I'm here to help you guys. With that being said, man, I asked myself, What is that 5-year plan? Don't be in such a rush to figure it out either. Take as long as you need to find out what you want to be. I don't want us to rush to failure. I want us to be deliberate. I want us to be pragmatic. I want us to be practical. And I want us to make sense of this situation. Because I don't want us to do stuff just for the sake of just doing something. Just to say we're not being idle. No, like, stay idle, but you're thinking and you're processing where it is or what you want to be. So, to give you guys an example, I'm going to kind of go back in time. I've kind of told you guys about how I was feeling around the age I was 22 back in 2020. So let me talk to you about, the process. I was like, I don't know exactly what type of man I want to be, or, but I know that it would make me happy if I, had a good paying job. I was very extremely successful. I was physically attractive. I don't want to be this short, skinny dude no more. I want to have muscles. I want to look like a man. I want to have confidence. I want to be able to be wise. I want to be a leader. I want my girlfriend or my spouse to look at me and trust me and trust my leadership and look at me as like, oh, that's a man that I want to be with. I want it to be a man that was also based in faith, a God-fearing man. I wanted to be a man that put God in everything he did. Because I was looking at other people who had that same exact thing, where they put God in the center of everything they did. And I know what favor looks like from the Lord. And I said, I need to be like that. See how much at peace they were having a relationship with God, being locked in spiritually. I said, that's what I want to be. I said, I want to be a dude that feels confident, that's proud of what he looks like in the mirror physically. I said, I want to be a dude that, can also process his emotions, can be a stand-up dude that people like being around, that is intelligent, not only like an intellect, but emotionally, like having emotional intelligence, being able to process my emotions better, to where I don't, make rash decisions that may have long-lasting effects. I want to be a guy that is able to process his emotions and not let it affect his performance, or not let it affect, his opportunities in the future, or affect his drive and his determination and his ambition. I want him to be an ambitious dude that may go through some life, because life does life. Life be lifing. But still being able to keep going every single day. I want to be a guy that's also smart. Something that I love about my dad, man, is just wise. Anybody that's older than me that has been through life and experienced life and has learned things, man, I was like, mentally, they're just there. They know a lot of information. I am extremely attracted to intelligence. I am extremely attracted to somebody who is locked in mentally. What do I have to do to become that? And then spiritually, like, what do I have to do to kind of wrap it all together? Because I can't do this life thing on my own. I want results. I want to live a life like this. It can't all just be on me. What can I look to help me? What can I look to whenever I feel like I'm in doubt, to uplift me, to where I can have a strong faith, strong belief system, that no weapon can form against me, that anything that I'm faced with, I can conquer. Any evil thrown at me, I can turn it into my good. I want to have favor from the Lord. That is what I want to be 5 years from now. I want to be that dude that just, walks the walk, talk the talk, humble, successful, and like whatever you name it. And so I was kind of just spewing out all those things. And then I was able to kind of like categorize it. Shout out to my dad, because my dad uses this model. But my dad had told me, he was like, man, when I'm working on myself, because I want to say it was around the new year at that time, but he had told me, I want to say in 2020, 2021, somewhere around that time when I figured it out, he said, as long as I'm getting better physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, I'll be good. Just those 4 aspects, those 4 principles. As long as I'm good physically, as long as I'm good mentally, as long as I'm good emotionally, and as long as I'm good spiritually, I'll be straight. Holistically, I will be good. So I started thinking, I was like, man, that's actually literally all the things that I just said. So physical, man, starting off with the physical, man, I said, man, I want to be a dude that, feel confident when I walk in the room. I want to, what I'm saying? Instead of me being jealous of that dude that's got the muscles, Let me go learn what he's doing. How did he, because he did not look like that coming out the womb. He made himself that. How did he do that? And if he did it, I should be able to do it because he's human, he's man just like me. There has to be some sort of possible that is doable because it's doable for him and he made it happen. And I want to make it doable for me too. So instead of me being jealous and stuff like that, I said, man, I'm admiring that. I'm inspired by that. What do I got to do to become something like that? I was like, hey, man, you got to do this workout split. You got to eat like this. And all you need is an hour. 1 hour, 4% of the day. 1 hour out of 24 is 4% of the day. So don't ever use the excuse you ain't got no time and just stick to it, bro, and you be good, bro. Just stay with the basics. Take your time. The results is going to come when they come. And that's what happened. That's what he told me. His name was Kevin. He's my friend. I was working out with him back in 2020 when COVID started happening. If you guys look at my shorts, on this channel, actually, I think it's like one of my very first shorts back then. I think it was around 20. Me and him were working. That's the dude that was working out with me. That's Kevin. We was back in Tennessee. But I think he was doing like some sort of shoulder workout. But if you go see him, like that's him. I said, bro, I'm trying to be like you. We got to lift. We got to do something. You know what I'm saying? So physically, that's what I did. I was like, okay, so that's what I'm going to do. And then I found out emotionally, I wanted to be a dude that people like my spouse or my girlfriend would love to be around, like having emotional intelligence. I want to process my emotions. What can I do to kind of help get better at that? Emotionally, to be honest, to me, you can kind of even condense it down to 3 categories because spiritually and emotionally are 2 of the same thing, in my opinion. Or they're not the same thing, but they're very intertwined. I want to be able to face adversity. I want to be able to get through problems. I want to be able to withstand my emotions to continue to do God's work, to continue to do my job, do what I got to do. And then also make other people feel good. I have a friend named Ed, right? Who I met in college. This dude has probably some of the best emotional intelligence I've ever experienced, bro. He's so charismatic. He knows exactly how to read the room, has very great awareness. He knows how to make people feel good. You know, I said, man, I want to be able to make myself feel good emotionally, but I also want to make other people feel good because I like the way that Ed makes people drawn to him. I like the way how he walks into a room, people want to be his friend. I said, what do I got to do to become like that? Oh, look, I'm paying attention to how he's making people feel. I'm paying attention to how he's considering other people's emotions. I'm seeing how whenever he gets in a rut, when he's not feeling the best emotionally, his process of what he does. He's able to articulate. He's not out there crashing out. I can't imagine him crashing out. You know what I'm saying? Don't be a crash out, fellas. Because don't let that temporary situation, that temporary moment, let that be somebody's perspective of you and think that that's what you're defined as. Don't let that temporary emotion define who you are. And you don't let it define. And how you can end up letting it define who you are is by doing something that can lead to something that is permanent. You doing something where it's going to be attached to you permanently. Even though that was a moment of weakness, you now have something that is now attached to you permanently just because of that one moment of weakness. You gotta be able to process and control your emotions. And the reason why I said spiritually is tied in with spiritually is because sometimes we may not feel like we have any control of how we feel. And that is true. We may not. So what do we do? How can I process my emotions? How can I get better emotionally? Like, what? Well, you rely on your faith. If you're right spiritually and you rely on God to help you and you trust that he's able to push you through and give you something that's not going to be too much, and anything that's thrown evil your way, you're going to be able to cultivate it into something that's going to end up being good for you. When you're tied in like that, when you're no longer anxious about the future because, it don't even matter because God got me. You don't let stuff get you out your emotions. You're not crashing out. You are allowing people get emotional whenever they are faced with the rejection, when they're set with setbacks. But if you are tied in spiritually, you'd be like, man, that rejection was divine protection, bro. The Most High is protecting me. I may think that that's what I need. I may think that's what I want, but the Most High knows best. And he knows that, nah, bro, I know you want to kick it with that girl. I know you think that girl is the one and you kind of mad that she rejected you, but that's not the one I got for you, bro. Trust me. Trust the process. I got you, dog. Don't worry. Don't worry. I got you, bro. Don't worry. Don't listen to them. They hating. Trust me. I'm going to bring some people around you that really mess with you for you. You ain't got to worry about how you being perceived. You ain't got to worry about changing who you are. I got you. So you don't let the world and you don't let things that negatively affect who you are and your entire well-being. Yeah, you human. You're going to feel a certain type of way and it's okay. But it's not necessarily trying to block those feelings. It's about observing those feelings and still being able to move forward. That's what it means to get better emotionally. Not letting situations, like I admire a guy that is not complaining all the time. They be like, okay, this is what we dealt with. All right, cool. Let's get to the solution. Yeah, it's hurting. Yeah, I'm feeling some sort of type of way, but hey, we got to keep on moving. How we going to fix this? How we going to get to the other side of this? That's how I want it to be. I realized that, man, emotionally locked in, bro. He's able to articulate and process his emotions, and he's also able to process other people's emotions. The great leaders have great emotional intelligence. I wanted to be a leader. I want to be a father one day. I want to be a husband one day. I assume the responsibility of being a leader. I will assume it 100% and be that for my family. I cannot wait. I take pride in that responsibility, or I will take pride in that responsibility. And I mean, I take pride in being a man, basically. The masculine duties. That's the type of guy that I want to be. When I see a guy like that is protecting and providing for his family, that's who I want to be. Like, he's able to read the emotions of his family, the people that he's leading. He's understanding that they may feel a certain type of way. He may understand that emotionally, like the responsibility, there may have not been anything he did that was his fault, but it's his responsibility to lead the family, and it's his responsibility to understand emotions. And being able to draw the best out of somebody, even though they may not be there 100%. They may be going through something. Showing grace as well. Patience. That's what I want it to be. And like I said, man, it's tied in with spiritually. Like that is something like you kind of can't get better until you're faced with it. And you can't necessarily force yourself to, oh, I'm going to go through some emotional pain. Somebody come in and flick something to make me angry. Like that's not natural, but when it does happen, it can kind of catch you off guard. And so what the best way as far as in doing that is to rely on your faith. Rely that God has got you, that he's going to get you through this, that there's no reason to crash out over this. Physically, emotionally, what's the next one? Mentally. Shout out my dad, man. Physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually. He said, if I'm locked in on that, bro, I'm good. So mentally, I admired men that very knowledgeable, knew what it is and was able to find out answers. And a trait about somebody who is very mentally locked in is that they will never claim to be the smartest person in the room. Gaining knowledge, yet it requires humility. How many people have you encountered before where you couldn't tell them nothing because they thought they knew it all? I want to be mentally, I want to be locked in to figure things out and to gather other people's perspectives. Because if I have more knowledge is power. If I know how to do something and I no longer have to rely on somebody else to fix it for me, or if I know how to do something which can avoid us going through some sort of problems, that's what I'm going to do. I admire somebody who can find out. And you can challenge yourself mentally by learning more about the physical aspect. How can there's an intellectual and there's a knowledge aspect when it comes to working out. There's a knowledge aspect when it comes to bettering yourself emotionally. Seeking out information, never feeling like you're in a position where you know it all. That is that guy who seems like, man, he knows everything. It's because he always has the assumption that he doesn't know enough. He needs to know more. That's the guy I wanted to be. And like I said, spiritually, bro, tied in with the emotion, bro, all this will all work together if you locked in spiritually. And something that can help you, bro, I want to deepen my relationship with God. So how can I do that? Well, I'm going to show you guys or tell you guys what worked for me. And I get it. If you're not religious, cool. I'm not even going to tell you like, oh, you got to go to church or this, or you got to do this, or you got to go that. No, bro. At the end of the day, you got to have a relationship with God and just be locked in with him. And I do recommend going to church because God loved the church, and to help you, be better at all of those things, have a sense of community that you can rely on, be around God's people. There's nothing wrong with that. There's no reason for you to hate the church. Why would you hate the church if God and Jesus loved the church? So I'm not necessarily saying, oh, not to go to church, but I'm not going to say, oh, you need, no. What I'm saying is that what has helped me is times of reflection, times of meditation, times of peace where I'm not, and it's hard to do that when you're always on your phone, always watching something, always doing something. Whenever I've noticed that when we get bored as a society, just people my age and when we get bored, that's when we get on the phone and we start scrolling. We look for something to stimulate us and to give us some sort of dopamine, because we cannot sit in silence and just be there with nothing. But if you can believe it, there was a time and age where these didn't exist. And you want to know what those people did? They were able to sit silently and think and stare into space. It's okay. I have gotten a part of seeking out God. I've spent less time on my phone because in times where I was bored and I didn't have anything to do, I would sit there and just listen to what God was trying to tell me. A lot of guys are trying to say, hey, how can I find my purpose? How can I, find out what God is calling me to be? But you're not even trying to listen to God. You're on the phone, you're on the game, you're being stimulated 24/7 all the time, and you're not setting any sort of time aside. I'm not even going to tell you, oh, you need to set some time aside, 15 minutes, and you need to pray. No. What I'm saying is that whenever you have a moment of you're not doing anything, or a moment of idleness, embrace that moment and use it and weaponize it for you to get closer to God. That's what I do. I'm not getting on my hands and knees praying to God. I don't even bless my food at half the time before I start praying. I'll be honest, bro. I be trying to get things, but it's like, bro, when it comes to God, bro, when it comes to my relationship with him, I'm extremely informal, because it's not supposed to be a formal thing. It's supposed to be somebody who I can call and rely on. He's my father, right? What do I look like being very, very, like my earthly father? What do I look like being like me and my earthly father? Like, I'm a grown man. Like, you could basically say we have like a friendship and a relationship in a way. I still respect him, and I still respect his position as far as like being my father. But other than that, like, I'm very informal. I don't have to get super formal and be like, oh, I got to go to church, I got to do this, I got to do that. No, man, think of it like this, bro. If you want to talk to God, you want to deepen your relationship with God, imagine you just texting somebody. In a moment where you ain't doing nothing, bro, imagine you just getting on your phone, sending a text message to God, letting him know what you thinking, letting him know what you feeling like, and just sitting there, wait for the response to come back. And then once the response comes back, it may not come back that moment, but then you start doing something else. And then when you have another moment of idleness, you just sit there again and just like, okay. Oh, God texts. Oh, I'm hearing him now. What he said. You know what I'm saying? Don't think of it as like some sort of thing where, oh, we got to have a conversation where let me talk to him. And then that just be the end of no, have a conversation, have a relationship. Let it take the entire day. I don't have a set time as far as when I pray. But when there's a moment where I'm not doing anything, where there's a moment where I'm just scrolling through TikToks or something like that, I said, you know what? Let me slow down, bro. Let me slow down. Let me talk to God real quick. Let him know what I'm feeling. Let him know the things that are worrying me. Let him know the things that are bringing me anxiety right now. What can I do? God, I'm feeling this way. What? I need your help. I need your support. Please don't please cover me. And I said, this is what I'm kind of battling through. What you think, God? Like, and I let him know like something. I'm like, God, I'm really feeling very lustful right now in this moment. The way I'm thinking is not like you. Like, what do I got to do to kind of be stimulated? Can you distract me, or what should I be thinking about right now? Because I just be thinking, and I'm not ashamed of those thoughts because he created me. I'm feeling this way because I didn't create mine. He gave me this feeling. He gave me the ability to feel this way. I'm as open as I can be. As open as and authentic, because it's not like you don't have to be ashamed. You don't have to make it seem like you got to do all this on your own. Where it's like, oh, I'm a sinner, and blah. God knows you're a sinner. But what are you going to be doing to help you to figure it all out? Are you somebody that wants to control it all and thinking that you know all the answers and you don't know, bro? I'm a guy that knows that, hey, man, like when it comes to my lust problem, when it comes to this problem, my gambling problem, I know I can be out of, like, I know I can get out of control, man. What can I do? I don't need to be having this perspective of I can figure it all out and it's not a big problem. It's not a big deal and I can stop if I want to or anything like that. Nah, man, like, let me talk to the big God on this, man. I need him to help me. I need him to help me become the best version of that I want to be, because I want to live a life of peace and prosperity. I want to live an enjoyable life. I want to live a good life. He created me. You think he put me on this earth so I can suffer and live a bad life? No, he wants you to live a good life as well. Once you have that relationship like that, fellas, I'm telling you, bro, life will change drastically. Drastically. But this is the video. As I'm coming to an end on this video, man, this is the video that's supposed to be provided to the guy who wants to live a better life but does not know exactly what he has to do to get that better life. A guy that knows that he should be doing something but doesn't know what to do. Well, hopefully this gave you some sort of sense of direction. First thing, man, find out where you want to be at in 5 years. And it can be, take your time and don't diminish it or try and minuscule it and be like, okay, no, if you want to be a millionaire, say you want to be a millionaire. If you want to be a dude that's want to compete in bodybuilding, say that. Whatever life you want to live, bro, be as open and candid about it. Don't be shy about it. Don't try to feel like, oh, I'm ashamed. Don't be ashamed. Embrace it. You don't need to share this with anybody anyway. So there is no reason as to why you should hold yourself back. Whatever you want to be, bro, say it. Say it. Don't be ashamed of it. Like I said, there's no reason to be ashamed because God made you. God made you, bro. You feel the way that you feel because that's just the way you feel. There's no reason to be ashamed about it. Don't share this information with somebody else so you can get their opinion so they can tell you how you need to live your life. No, how do you want to live your life, bro? What type of man do you want to be? And then find a way to compartmentalize it, categorize it like I did, physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually. And so if you want to have a successful year in 2025, we got to have successful months, and successful months are made up of successful weeks, and successful weeks are made up of successful days. How can I win the day? How can I make today successful? How can I make today get me closer to where I want to be? Because those days are going to accumulate and they're going to keep adding up and adding up. And those 1 day wins are going to start turning into 1 year wins. And then whenever you are able to look over your day, reflect over your year, you can actually assess whether or not it's been successful, whether it's been good or not. You actually have a standard. And if you fall short of that standard, why is the reason that I fall short of that standard? Okay, this is the corrections. These are the alterations that I'm going to put in place. Okay, I was above the standard. I succeeded. How can I not get cocky and humble, but how can I keep pushing the envelope? How can I keep pushing the standard? How can I keep passing my benchmark? How can I continue to grow? Are there any other ways I can continue to get better? Continue to have a way to set standards to where you can assess yourself. And now you have direction. Now you know what you need to do. And it all starts off with where you want to be. Stop distracting yourself with all the noise and everything like this. Focus, lock in, be with your thoughts. Let your thoughts take a hold of you. Let whatever thought comes to you, let it come to you. Whenever you're imagining yourself of being a man, look and draw inspiration from other men. Don't be jealous. Don't be envious. Don't hate on them. Don't be a hater. The reason why you hating is because you really mess with it. You really see how they got that thing on. You really see how they got it going on and you wish you could get it like that. Don't be hating. Be like, I like the way he did that. Like I did. I looked at Kevin when he was working. I was like, that boy look cold. That boy brolic. I said, how can I get like that? How can I keep adding more and more muscle? All right, bet. Let me go talk to him. Let me go figure something out. Bet. And that man, Bro, every time he come in the room, the girls is choosing on him. Dudes want to be with his friend. And let me not be mad at the popular kid for being popular. Let me see and observe what he's doing emotionally to become that dude. As an introverted dude who's shy, who doesn't, how can I adopt extrovert? Sorry guys about that, but my video had ran out of storage, but I was basically at the end of the video. If you guys want to talk to me, you guys need any help with this, cultivating your 5-year plan, you guys can go down to the link down below in the description, book you a consultation, talk to me one-on-one. If you guys want to start your fitness journey, you guys can also do that by going down to in the description, getting my 12-week training program for beginners. And then lastly, if you guys got any comments, questions, concerns, things you want to reach out to me about, you guys can do that by going down to the link in the description and hitting my Instagram. Send me a DM. I'll respond back to you, bro. With that being said, before y'all go, make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe, share the video. I'ma holler at y'all boys.